Good evening, Marquette. Welcome to our first Golden Eagle Sports Report of this semester. I'm Chris Reisner.
And I'm Maddie Adams. Over the weekend, the Marquette women's volleyball team played 3 matches at the Al McGuire Center. They dropped their rivalry game against Wisconsin in straight sets, but managed to sweep Tulsa and Illinois State in straight sets. Overall, they posted a 2-1 weekend and concluded their non-conference schedule with a 9-3 overall record. In their 3-0 loss to number 6 ranked Wisconsin, the Golden Eagles posted an impressive first set, falling just 25-23. However, the second and third sets were very different stories as the Badgers won each of those sets by 10 or more. We spoke with head coach Ryan Tice following his team's loss to the Badgers. Here's what he had to say.
Started off playing pretty well. I thought we hung in there. I think it was about 46 volleys, but we needed about 48. Every touch is, they're too good to miss one of the touches, right? So if you miss a set by 6 inches and can't get a big swing, that's not enough pressure on them, and then they come back and they don't make that same miss.
Badgers, they need to figure something out.
Still a lot of time to get back in, though, and that's
Hawk to serve.
Nice play.
Tomorrow's pretty important for us. We get a chance to end the preseason at 9-3 or 7-5, and so we want to make sure we're on the upside of that.
And with that, we want to welcome in our women's volleyball beat reporters, Dan Avington and Zoe Comerford. Thank you both for being here and being with us.
Thanks for having us on.
We're really excited to talk about some volleyball.
Absolutely, and let's just get right into it. Marquette dropped one of their most anticipated games of the season today on Friday night. Although the Badgers are a top 10 team in the country, the Golden Eagles seemed really hopeful, especially in that first set, but eventually fell in straight sets. So, Dan, let's start with you. How demoralizing of a defeat do you think this was for the Golden Eagles?
Chris, being honest, I don't think demoralizing is the right word for it. I think that it's disappointing, but Wisconsin's the number 6 team in the nation, and Marquette knew that coming in. They knew that they were incredibly talented. They have a reigning All-American in Dana Retke at middle blocker. She's 6'8". None of the Marquette players are that tall. So I think it's disappointing, especially that they went up so early and then they consecutively lost by more, but I don't think that it's demoralizing.
I definitely agree, Dan. It was definitely not demoralizing because they still stayed at number 21 in the rankings, and it was just very disappointing for Marquette fans because it was their home arena. They had 3,805 people there to support them, not necessarily them, but also Wisconsin. It was just a big game for both teams.
That's a very positive outlook for a tough loss. Overall, what went wrong for the Golden Eagles in this one?
Well, definitely the service errors. So they were not confident in their serves, and Coach Tice even said that he really wanted them to be more confident and take those opportunities, and they weren't getting many of their serves in, so that caused a big problem, and you can't do that against a top team like Wisconsin.
Yeah, and on the defensive end, Zoe and I were talking to Coach Tice afterward, and he was talking about how their game plan coming into this weekend was that they needed to guard the middle area of the court, and they just didn't do that against Wisconsin. Martha Kanavadov wasn't able to get to all of them, and they just started lacking on the defensive end, and they weren't guarding the middle of the court, and that was the biggest problem.
Yeah, Zoe, like you said, those service errors you just can't afford against a team the caliber of Wisconsin. And I do remember Tice mentioning the middle of the court as something he wanted to emphasize. And despite dropping that disappointing matchup against Wisconsin, the Golden Eagles didn't wait long to bounce back. You got to give them the credit there. Just one day later, they swept both Tulsa and Illinois State at the Al McGuire Center. Coach Tice also notched his 100th career victory in that one against the Redbirds. So here's what Coach Tice had to say following the team's doubleheader victory on Saturday.
Both matches today was to try and protect the middle of the court. I thought both the teams we were playing attacked into the middle of the court a lot. I don't know which timeout, but I got pretty agitated with them about not being able to execute that. And I thought our serve game was really good through a large part of today, which was a big difference. I don't think we had, I thought maybe 5 out of our 6 servers were really feeling it from the service line tonight. Claire Mosier came in and served a couple of really good balls and got them out of system.
When I first went in, I was just thinking I got to get it in, that's all I have to do. And then we had a huge block, and I was like, there's really nothing to lose anymore. I have to, no matter what I do, I can either wimp it out and just keep it in, and they could get a big kill on us, or I could serve aggressively and potentially get an ace, and that's what happened.
Claire Mosier.
And Claire Mosier, the freshman, gets the ace.
You know, we had goals for the preseason. You know, what each meant for later, for trying to make the NCAA tournament, for trying to become a seeded team. And we achieved some of those goals, not all of them, but some of them. And now all of our attention turns to trying to win a Big East championship.
Now, maybe it was just me, but the Golden Eagles seemed like two completely different teams Friday to Saturday. What was Marquette able to improve against Tulsa and ISU that really allowed them to gain control early and not let up?
Well, Chris, I think the biggest difference was actually freshman setter Claire Mosier coming in, making her first 2 career starts, and she had some huge games. She led the team in assists against Tulsa with 19, and then against Illinois State, with the team down at set point in set number 2, she came to the service line and had a couple aces and won their team the set. So I think, especially filling in for Lauren Speckman, who's a veteran and was All Big East second team last season, having Claire Mosier come in and play such a big role on the team was huge for Marquette on Saturday.
Dan, I definitely agree with you. I think they really cleaned up their service errors and they started making those serves. So in the Tulsa game, they had 5 service aces, all 4 of which were from sophomore outside hitter Hope Wirch. And then in the ISU game, they came out and had 8 service aces. So that's so many more than they had in the previous game against Wisconsin.
And how big is that in the absence of a player like Lauren Speckman for a freshman nonetheless to come in and make such an impact?
Yeah, it's incredible that she was able to do that under such pressure, especially against Illinois State and Tulsa were 2 teams that are incredibly good. Even though they're not ranked in the AVCA, they're actually 2 teams that I think combined had about 5 losses coming into this weekend. So having a freshman come in and play at the setter spot, which is an incredibly important position in volleyball, they're the ones that control the pace of the game. They're the ones that decide which side to go to every single time. So having Claire Mosier come in with such composure was incredible.
I definitely agree. I think she played fantastically, and I think we're going to see her a lot more on the court this year.
Definitely. So a lot of positive things coming from the Tulsa and Illinois State games. Marquette kicks off Big East Conference play Friday night at Providence. What do you guys think are the most important factors for the Golden Eagles as they continue their tremendous start to the 2018 season in conference play?
So you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So I definitely think that Marquette really needs to keep up their confidence, be confident in their serves, be confident that they can, if they have the lead, they can take that opportunity and do something with it. They can't just, if they have a lead, they can't just let it go like they did in the Wisconsin game. They really need to take advantage of those opportunities they have.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to carry over that momentum that they have from these past 2 wins, but I also think the most crucial part is playing a full team game. I think that a lot of times this season when they've lost, it's been either that the outside hitters and the middle blockers and the front line are having a good game, or that the back line's having a good game. So I think they need to combine that like they did against USC, the number 10 team in the nation, when they had that huge win. I think that was a full team game, and that's what they need to do if they want to wreak some havoc in the Big East.
Yeah, good points, both of you. Keeping up the confidence and a team game, not relying on a few players like Ali Barber per se.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up next, we'll be taking a look into the Marquette men's basketball team's new arena, the Pfizer Forum.
Don't go anywhere because Golden Eagle Sports Report will be right back. Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. Once again, I'm Chris Reisner.
And I'm Maddie Adams. It's not quite basketball season yet, but a lot of news surrounding Marquette basketball has transpired in the past few weeks. After over $500 million in expenditures, the new home for Marquette basketball is finally complete. Some of the coolest amenities feature a state-of-the-art jumbotron, a walkout terrace, and a new concessions options that fans love.
I was actually on hand to attend the open house where Marquette fans could get an inside look at the arena. Check out what head coach Steve Wojciechowski and more had to say about the new Pfizer Forum.
It's a new season and a new home for Marquette basketball. Welcome to Pfizer Forum.
The thing that's so exciting about today is to see our best supporters here getting a sneak peek at what is, I think, the best basketball building in America.
The new seating design here at Pfizer Forum gives fans a closer experience to the action.
And the fact that we've got so many more seats that are down closer and lower to the floor, I think it's going to really change the sound levels, the engagement level. I think it's going to make it a much more formidable place for visiting teams to have to come in and play.
And a brand new locker room to spend time before they take the court has got the players excited.
Because that's where we spend our most of our time is in the locker room. And we'll be able to socialize in the locker room and bond more as well. And that's probably the biggest thing for us is the locker room.
Here's an inside look at Marquette's training room inside their new locker room. They've got everything state-of-the-art, and here is what fans are seeming to call the big chair. Why it's so big, what it's for, we don't really know, but stay tuned. We'll try and find that out later this season.
The arena is beyond my wildest dreams. They didn't cut any corners. There's amazing attention to detail. And really, whether you're watching the Bucks play or Marquette play or a concert, you're going to be in a facility that only enhances the experience.
From the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, I'm Chris Reisner, Marquette Wire Sports.
Chris, it looks like you had a fun time with the Golden Eagle.
Yeah, I certainly was having a fun time covering the opening. In fact, I noticed everyone at the open house was having fun, especially the players. Here's some banter between sophomores Greg Elliott and Jamal Cain. What happened was we were interviewing Greg Elliott and Jamal stepped over to interrupt the interview. One reporter asked, who's the better shooter? Check out what Greg had to say.
Me, of course. I had a bad hand. So if my hand was good, I say I had at least 6 more percentage points higher. So that you shot 5 percentage points better than me. You shot 42, I shot 37. So I say I'd have been at 43.
57.
No good. Conference. But I still feel like I would have been a better shooter. Hands down.
What do y'all think? Y'all tell me what y'all think.
Hey, don't drag us into this.
No comment. No, I'm talking about whoever's watching.
In other Marquette basketball news, the team landed its first recruit for the 2019-2020 season.
To bring us more information on this new signing, we welcome analyst Nick Gawley. Nick, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm always good. Happy to be here on our brand new virtual set. It's state-of-the-art, so we're happy to be here as always. And anyway, Nick, getting into this new recruit, just first off, what can you tell us about him?
So, Marquette got his first verbal recruit from Dexter Acano. He is a combo guard from Southern California, attended Valencia High School. This season, he'll be attending Blair Academy in New Jersey as a post-grad. And I love this recruitment here because Acano, he flew under the radar. You know, Valencia is not known as a basketball school, but he got an offer from Virginia Tech, and he was starting to get some interest from the Ivy League schools. So this is really a hidden gem that Marquette got.
Yeah, I heard he wasn't even ranked on the national rankings till this past year.
Yeah, he wasn't. And then, as I said, once he got that Ivy League interest and some offers coming in, people started recognizing him more, and then Marquette was able to get the verbal commitment from him. So
we're very excited to have him. Do you think Acano has the potential to come in and have an immediate impact next season?
I definitely do. I mean, even though he's going to be young, this post-grad year, it's really going to get him ready for Marquette playing Big East basketball. And not just physically, but mentally, he's ready as well. He said going to Blair Academy that he's going to use that to get better at basketball and academics, and also use it to get used to being away from home so he won't get homesick, hopefully, even though he is pretty far here in Wisconsin. But should be a great year for Akano, and he should be acclimating well to Big East basketball as well.
And you talk about Big East basketball, a conference known for physicality, defense, and after landing transfers like Ed Morrow, Joseph Chartney, Kobe McEwen, Marquette seems to be going towards the defensive side of the ball with some of these players they're landing. Do you think Akano fits into that equation?
He definitely fits into that equation. Fits it perfectly. 6'8" wingspan. He has great lateral speed, can run up and down the court, cover both guard positions. So if you're trying to build a defensive team, Dexter Akano's your guy that you want on that team.
Are there any other interesting facts that you know about Akano?
One interesting fact, this one, really interesting actually, won an Instagram contest with Steve Nash. Obviously one of the best point guards to ever play in the NBA. Able to have a training session with him. Akano said he learned a lot, raised his basketball IQ, learned a lot about passing, a lot about team play. So I definitely think that experience helps him on the court for sure. Said it changed his outlook on basketball. Not only that, but changed his whole outlook on life. So that's some pretty big words from Akano, so that definitely helped him out, and definitely a cool experience for him to have.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow, for a high school senior to spend some time with Steve Nash, that's pretty crazy. From an Instagram contest?
I wish I applied. Probably wouldn't have got it, but still, I mean, that's literally insane. Literally insane.
That is. Thank you very much, Nick.
No
Always
problem. Thank you.
A pleasure to have you here. And it's good to have you here watching as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Golden Eagle Sports Report. Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. The Marquette men's golf team is coming off their impressive spring 2018 campaign, where the team finished just 3 strokes behind Georgetown in the Big East Championship. Still, the squad sent junior Matt Merlick and reigning Big East Player of the Year Hunter Eichhorn to the NCAA Regionals. Our own Jack Phillips joined head coach Steve Bailey and the rest of the golf squad and previewed the team's fall 2018 campaign.
It truly is going to be a hectic next 5 days for Marquette Athletics, whether you're talking about women's volleyball, women's soccer, or men's soccer, and that's not even including men's golf, which actually has their first Badger Invitational September 9th.
Golf is a sport where, through times of adversity, it's really, we find out who we are. And so, all our guys can play well when things are going good, but it's when things get a little bit rough and rugged, and who are they? How are they going to show up then? And so that's our constant challenge.
With fresh faces joining the squad for the fall of 2018 season, Junior Matt Merlick is eager to get out on the course with them.
I think they're all very equal, and I'm really excited that they're all on campus. They're going to be a great addition to our program, and can't wait to see what they can do.
One of these new faces is junior transfer Nate Thompson, who played his previous 2 years with the Belmont Bruins. Thompson believes his move closer to home will benefit him for his final 2 years of collegiate golf.
Like I said, I want to be on a team that was more competitive. Be closer to home. The guys seemed really nice. I know Coach Bailey for a while. He recruited me my junior year of high school, so kind of knew that going in, so yeah.
Looking back to last spring, it was now sophomore Hunter Eichhorn leading the way for the Golden Eagles. Despite winning Big East Freshman of the Year as well as the Big East Player of the Year, the sophomore sensation still believes that there's room for him to improve.
You know, it'd be nice every week to have a chance to win, and then on top of that, if I can perform well, a little more consistent, that'll help. That'll bode well for the team, I should say, and you know, hopefully we make it to regionals this year.
Regardless, the new season brings new goals and expectations for the Golden Eagles, and Coach Bailey continues to lead the way for his young squad.
You know, when things get a little tough to dig deep and find something. So we're looking forward to watching that transpire throughout the fall, and hopefully we've grown a little bit in those areas, and we can basically grow and continue to kind of meet those goals that we've set out for them.
Reporting from the Al McGuire Center, Jack Phillips, Marquette Wire Sports.
The team has carried their positive momentum from last season into the fall of 2018, posting a 5th-place finish at the Badger Invitational last weekend. On top of that, the squad notched a 1st-place finish at the Northern Intercollegiate Invitational yesterday afternoon. This was the 2nd year in a row that the Golden Eagles have won that invite. Moving from the course to the pitch, the women's soccer team is off to its worst start in program history at just 1-6-1. This is coming off a season where the team went 13-7-1.
And their schedule is not going to get any easier as well. They take on the 7-0 University of Milwaukee Panthers tonight before Big East play begins next week. So to give us some more insight on why the team has been struggling so much and if they can turn it around, we welcome our soccer analyst, Nicole Talahach. Nicole,
good to have you here.
Glad to have you here.
How are you guys?
Good.
Can't complain. And Nicole, this just perplexes me. How does a team that won 13 games last season and finished among the top teams in conference play come out this season and struggle so much through these first 8 games?
Yeah, you know, that's a really great question, especially coming off another loss from BYU this past weekend. And I think they're really focusing on the team they had last season, that momentum they had going, and they're not realizing the changes they have to make, that this is a different team, it's a different year, and they have to stop putting so much pressure on their stronger players. Their goalie, who's a junior, Maddie Henry, she's been playing every game, all game, since her freshman year, and their leading scorer, Madden, has 2 goals, and that's not a great start to the season.
The team schedule does not get any easier as well. As Chris mentioned, they are playing the undefeated University of Milwaukee Panthers as we speak and begin conference play next Sunday against Butler. That said, do you think they can turn this season around?
Yeah, I think they definitely can. They just kind of have to change their morale. I think they should start watching their tapes, analyzing their game, look at what they're doing well, what they can do better, and maybe get a little look at last season, look what they did there.
Yeah, you talk about their morale, their confidence. Do you think this is really like a mental thing more than a physical thing with like the talent of the players?
I do. I think that they were off such a high of last season, and they came in thinking that this season was going to be a breeze just like last year, but it really isn't. They have to keep that momentum going.
Moving over to the men's soccer, the Golden Eagles defeated number 13 ranked Villanova on Saturday night. Connor Alba, Patrick Segrist, and Josh Cohn all scored for MU.
We talked to head coach Louis Bennett and junior forward Connor Alba after the team's impressive win over Villanova.
I thought that my initial thoughts, great, we won. And I think we played well we played well in big parts of the game, and we were fortunate in other parts, but I'm not going to complain about 3-0 against Villanova. The defensive players, the players playing at the back, are the furthest away from the goal, so we can't rely on them scoring every week. But when you can score, I mean, Patrick scored 2 now, and the amount of work that he puts in, it's really rewarding when you see a guy that works that hard, that gets cherry on top of the cake.
I think it's just following with the game plan.
going through with what coach tells us to do, and they got it right this game, and it worked perfectly. So
I'm on a day-to-day basis. I'm on a need-to-know basis, and tomorrow morning I'll need to know what we're going to do on Wednesday.
Nicole, with the men's team knocking off number 13 ranked Villanova Saturday night, have your expectations of this Golden Squad changed after seeing what they can do to such a talented team?
Absolutely. You know, that was a big win for them and a big win for their morale as well, as we talked about that with the women's team. It was great for the fans to see, and this has really amped them up, and I think that, you know, they have a handful of players from the MLS Academy, and they really worked on working with nonverbal signals because a lot of them are international players, speak different languages, and so I think that's really benefiting them to have kind of a secret edge to their play.
It's funny to see a team that's around 500 go into a game against a ranked team and almost demolish them 3-0. It seems like in soccer, especially with this Marquette team, like anything can happen any given game.
That's very true, you know, especially after I think they're 3-3 this season now, and I think they're trying to keep picking up the pace. And
Marquette, after that win, is going to turn their attention towards UWM. They play the Panthers on Wednesday night at the Valley. The Milwaukee Cup is always such a fun game to watch. So, Nicole, what specifically are you most excited to see in this matchup between these two squads?
I'm really excited to see that coming off this win, the energy that they have. I'm sure they're all really amped up and excited. Winning the Milwaukee Cup is always a big deal between this little rivalry they have going on. And I think that knowing what they can do now, how they use that in this next game will really be a great game.
All right, well, that's all the time we have tonight with you, Nicole. Thank you for joining us here on Golden Eagle Sports Report. Once again, I'm Chris Reisner.
And I'm Maddie Adams. Good night, Marquette.